Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of Ten Hag's horrific task here on FM22. Now, like I said, this is part 2. If you've not seen part 1, I do suggest you go back and check it out. But briefly, what we are doing is I have taken over Manchester United here on Football Manager. I've hired Erik Ten Hag as my assistant manager. I am essentially doing the transfer windows. I'm buying all the players, I'm selling all the players, but everything else is going to be done by Ten Hag. I've delegated every single responsibility across to Ten Hag, and we are simulating the season so he manages all of the matches as well. So Season 1 was impressive, to say the least. We managed to finish second in the league, joint top, but lost the season on goal difference. Absolutely gutting. And there's two ways of looking at it. Did we not score enough goals, or did we concede too many? I have looked at the squad and I believe there are some weaknesses. So what I have done is invested in one big player, I think was the best way to go here. Well, we got two players. First of all, Joel Law, we got from Coleraine in Northern Ireland, young centre-back. The scouts seem to think he had a good potential in the future, so we've purchased him for 500k and put him in the under-18s. But the main signing is, of course, Declan Rice. Now, I can't see this happening in real life, to be honest with you. I feel like he's probably going to end up at Chelsea, maybe. That seem to be the favourites to get a hold of him. I think he wants to stay in London. He's good friends with the likes of Mason Mount and people like that, so that seems the most likely option for me. But this is a great signing for us because I think this makes our midfield or defensive midfield spots incredible now. We're going to have Declan Rice alongside Frankie de Jong. That's going to make us strong. On the way out, though, we sold Amad Diallo to Frankfurt for 29 million. A lot of money for him. Apparently, he's worth 35 now, but I would take that 29 million any day of the week. Anthony Martial went to Sporting for 15. It's a big shame for me because I really thought this guy was going to be an absolute star in the future, and confidence and so forth has really rocked his career the last couple of years. But 15 million to get him out the door, I think was probably the right move for us. Alex Telles going for 14 million to Marseille. We probably could have got more looking at his value now, though. We sold him for 14. He's now worth between 20 and 32, apparently. And I think that was about it. Big wise, we sold a couple of youngsters here and there for a bit of money, but yeah, for me that's it was a good window, I think, getting Rice, and this is the formation that I would be playing now if I was Ten Hag. I don't know if this is what he is playing, but of course we've got De Gea in goal, we've got Timber at right back with Varane, De Ligt and Dalot at left back. The two midfielders are Frankie de Jong and Declan Rice sitting behind the trio of Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes and Jadon Sancho with Cristiano Ronaldo up front. So, yeah, that is what I would be playing. Whether that's what Ten Hag decides he wants to play, we'll have to wait and see. So why don't we whiz forward to the end of January, see how Ten Hag's got on for the first half of the season, and see if I can make any more signings to strengthen the squad in January. Right, let's move on. Right, so here we are then, end of January. As you can see, we are third in the Premiership with 3 points behind City and 5 points behind Liverpool, who also have a game in hand. So, I mean, we're still in the Champions League spots quite convincingly over the likes of Spurs. Goal difference plus 28, I think, is actually pretty good, but Liverpool's plus 56 goals is just immense. Who's scoring those goals for them? Mbappe, Lewandowski and Salah. Bloody hell, Liverpool, are you taking the piss? Mbappe, Lewandowski and Salah as your front three. No wonder they're scoring tons of bloody goals. Right, what do we do? Right, over here. So, we brought in one new signing, another youngster, to be honest, Eric Cowie. I couldn't really find anybody else who was worth signing. This guy really jumped out at me. I mean, you look at his stats for a 16-year-old, they were very impressive, so he really jumped out. But apart from that, there was just nothing else that really made me feel like there was a good signing in there for us. Sales-wise, though, where are we? So, Chong, yeah, you went out on loan. We sold Fred to Athletic Mineral, and that was about it, really. I really struggled to find anyone that I thought was going to improve the team at this point in time. I mean, goals-wise, they're coming in. Ronaldo was 16, Fernandes with 13, Rashford with 12. João Pedro, of course, we signed last season, has picked up 6, mainly from substitute appearances. I mean, the centre-backs chipping in with a few goals themselves. Donny van der Beek's got a couple. Sancho is a little bit of a worry, playing that many games and not really contributing a huge amount. But Fernandes is really the star of the season at the moment, as is Frankie de Jong as well. So, yeah, it's a tricky one at this point in time. I think the best thing to do is to save our money up and do some better signings in the summer. But at this point in time, I just can't see anybody who's going to greatly improve us. Hence why we spent the money on the youngster. I mean, that youngster to me does look very impressive. I don't know about you, but for a 16-year-old Scotsman, those stats, great determination, teamwork, work rate, really good passing and first touch. He does have the makings of being an incredible attacking midfielder in the very near future. So hopefully we can give him a little bit of a bit of an option here every now and again, and a bit of a chance in the first team, and see if we can develop him on. Right, let's move on to the end of the season and see if we can turn this around. I think from this point, it's going to be very hard to win the Premiership. As long as we finish in the top 4 and we continue on in the Champions League, I think that is the main thing for me at this point in time. Especially when you've got bloody Haaland at Man City and Mbappe at Liverpool. Goals are going to be flying in for those two clubs, aren't they? So we just need to keep in touch of those two teams. I think third position is the most likely at this point in time, but let's see what Ten Hag can do. And there we go then, exactly what I said, didn't I? Third position behind Liverpool and Manchester City. Man City had a great second half of the season, overtaking Liverpool, who still hammered them on the goal difference, though. We finished third, an absolute mile ahead of fourth position. So we are the best of the rest at this point in time. Let's have a quick look at the season then. So schedule-wise, as you can see, we started very, very strong. It was around about Christmas and January that things started to fall apart a bit for us. Around about when the World Cup was, really threw us, didn't it, really? And a bit of a rough area here towards the end of the season as well. We lost the Champions League final. Wow. Okay, we did win the FA Cup, though. We won the FA Cup beating Man City 3-1 in the final. But lost in the Champions League final. So this is showing that we are doing pretty well, actually. I mean, it's not all about winning the Premiership. Of course, we want to be winning everything. That is the plan, isn't it, really? To win absolutely everything possible. I think if we win a treble, we'll call this a success. But I mean, yeah, we won the FA Cup. That's our first big piece of silverware. Third in the league, Champions League final. It does show that we're definitely moving in the right direction. We do need a couple more strong signings, I think, moving into next season to really help elevate us up to the next level. Look at that, 7-0 in the Champions League quarter-final against Nice. Wow, we were 2-0 down in the first leg as well. They beat us 2-0. And then we went to the second leg and beat them 7-0. Wow, let's see who did what then. So goals-wise, of course, Ronaldo with 32. Fernandes with 22. Rashford with 20. Ignacio got 7 from centre-back, which is great. Sancho had a slightly better second half of the season then. With 6 goals and 8 assists. João Pedro, no more goals, but he did pretty well for himself. He's definitely progressing into the player we need, as is Alanga, I suppose, getting a few goals in that as well. We've got the young Armenian player brought last season, who's done okay for himself. So I think we do need more strength, don't we? That's going to be the main thing. Assist-wise, of course, Fernandes with 23, 9 for Ronaldo, 8 for De Jong, 8 for Sancho, 7 for Shaw, for Rashford, and for Wan-Bissaka. Pellistri picked up 4 as well. It's looking decent. There is a lot of work that still needs to be done, obviously, but I think we've definitely moved ourselves up. As you can see, those are all players going... Oh, no, we've got a few players coming in. That's going to be... they're all in a couple of years' time, aren't they? Sorry, I actually played this game a few weeks back and I saved it all, so I can go through and do these videos, so I'm surprised at myself who I've got. So, yeah, our scouts have found some pretty decent players. We just got to wait for them to come to age before we can bring them in. Let's have a look at... How do I find this again? Youth prospects. That's just a lot of people. I can't really be bothered to go through them all. So who do we bring in this year? So this year we had Luke Astley was the main one, young Welsh right back, as well as Shane Seymour, an English centre back. His stats are flying up, aren't they? So those are two players we'll have to look at for the future, as well as some more homegrown players as well. But yeah, I think that's a pretty decent season to finish third in the Premiership, second in the Champions League, and to win the FA Cup. It's our first big piece of silverware, and I think there is still a lot of work to be done. But hopefully in Season 3, we can get a few more big transfers in, and we can really, hopefully, push ourselves a little bit further. It's going to be very difficult, like I said, with the likes of Man City having Haaland up front, and with Liverpool having that mad front three of Lewandowski. I mean, look at that. Mbappe got 32 goals, Lewandowski with 30, Salah with 25. The only respite we have here is that Lewandowski's 34. He can't be going much further. Sadio Mane's 31, Salah's 30 as well. Firmino's about to leave on a free transfer. So that's the only solace we've got, is that some of these players are going to start to disappear from Liverpool. Yeah, that's all we can really hope for with that one, because Liverpool are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And Manchester City, of course, 68 goals in 57 games. 44 goals in the Premiership. That is a record by far. 40 freaking 4. Look at that. How are you supposed to beat that? Well, I suppose we'll have to try and find out next season. I'm going to love you and leave you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Of course, if you have, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see some more. And I'll be back in a couple of days' time for season number 3 to see if we can topple the big boys and progress. I mean, we won the FA Cup. That's a big progression already. We come second in the Champions League. That's also a big progression. But we're not about coming second and third here. We're about winning everything. And that is what we need to do.